In this section of the tutorials, we're going to talk about the MDM element and the first component, which is the data component. Listed here on the left is just a quick review of the elements we've already discussed so that you can build upon your knowledge. In the data component, we have a number of items that give us a certain number of points. And we need to add those points up in order to get our total point score here. In order to bill for a level 4, in the MDM element, your data has to have a point total of 3. Now, unlike what we've done with the points over here and the points over here, we are going to add these points up to determine if they equal 3 or greater. We don't add points up over here, we just simply take the lowest point of the 3 components, and that's what we give to the history element. In this case, we're adding the points up. So let's look at these items and find out what points each item receives. If you order or review a lab test, you get 1 point. If you order a test, you get 1 point. If you review a test, you get 1 point. But if you order and review, you do not get 2 points. That is a common misconception. Whether you order or you review or you do both, you only get 1 point. And that way you don't double up your points by doing one thing, which is order a test and then review the same test. If you order or review a radiology test, and for a kidney doctor that would probably be an ultrasound or a CAT scan, you get 1 point. The same is true here. Order a test, 1 point. Review a test, 1 point. Order and review, 1 point. If you order or review an EKG or a PFT, you get 1 point. Now this is an item that really won't apply to many nephrologists that I know. So I've put it in here for thoroughness, but I'm going to cross it out because I don't think it applies to the kind of work that kidney doctors do. If you view a specimen on your own, you get 2 points. Now the most common specimen that we view as kidney doctors is the urine microscopy. So if you have a microscope in your office and you know how to prepare the slide, which is relatively straightforward, and you're comfortable viewing the specimen, you can automatically get 2 points. If you communicate with a referring doctor, you get 1 point. And the communication could be talking to them, which you'd have to document, or sending them the note that you've dictated. That would be 1 point. If you review or summarize old records, that would be 2 points. Now let's walk through this with some examples to determine how you can get 3 points in your data component so that you put your MDM element in position for level 4 billing. So let's change the color here. Say you have a new patient. You're probably going to order some tests, so that's 1 point. You're probably going to order some radiology tests like an ultrasound to look for echogenicity or cortical medullary differentiation, cortical thickness, etc. So that's 1 point. That's 2 points there. And if you view the specimen, that's 4 points. You've made your 3-point minimum for your data component. You may even review and summarize old records because that's you're looking at a new patient, and so you've easily made your 3-point minimum for your data component. Say you have an established patient. You'll probably still order some lab tests, so that's 1 point. You may no longer order any radiology tests because you don't need an ultrasound on a regular interval, so that won't be applicable. You will probably not view their specimen each and every time they come to the office because that's just not medically indicated. So you've only got 1 point so far. You may communicate with the referring doctor, and that's always a good practice to have every time you see a patient, especially if they have a primary care physician, but that only gives you 2 points. 1 point here and 1 point here. How do you get your 3rd point or more? And I think that is where the review and summary of old records come in. Old records are old. I presume they're old if they're not records that were created on the calendar day you see the patient. So if a patient comes to see you and they saw their primary care physician some time ago in between your last visit and your current visit, that's an old record that could be reviewed and summarized because there's information in there that's valuable for a kidney doctor. And so if you did that each and every visit, if applicable, you get 1, 2, 4 points, and you'd make your 3-point minimum for your data component. That's the data component of the MDM. These are the items that are in the data component, and we're now going to move on to the next component, which is the diagnosis.